What is up, my lifted legends? It's your boy Adrian here, bringing you guys some Apex Legends gameplay here today with some tips and tricks. I got 20 tips here that I've learned within my 12 hours of playing the game and just getting a general feel for the game. And these tips go not only just for characters, but they go for the entire game. All the tips are going to be able to be used between all characters. Sometime in the near future, I will be doing tips and tricks videos for the independent characters of the game, but hopefully these tips you guys can find useful here today. And do me a favor, at any point during the video, if you guys find any tip that's helpful or that you did not know about the game, definitely drop in the comments section what tip it was, because I'm truly interested to know, because obviously I'm here to help you guys progress and get better at the game as we go. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into tip number 1. The first tip of today's video is actually there is no fall damage in this game whatsoever, which is a major part to any game, knowing whether or not that if you jump off anything in the game, whether or not you will die. So you can go to the highest mountain of the game, you can jump from the air, skydive, however you want to do it. There is no fall damage in this game, guys, so definitely take that into consideration when you're moving across the map with you and your team. Also, going to piggyback off tip number 1 to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is you can actually wall run in this game. So let's say theoretically you decide you want to jump off a building. If you decide that you want to jump off a building, you can also climb back on top of that building. So there is no problem with the movement system at all whatsoever in this game. I actually love it. It's one of the smoothest, fastest, gameplay systems that I've ever dealt with in my life, honestly. With battle royales in particular, I really love this game, dude. The movement is definitely something to get used to and to learn, and you can use these to benefit your game even more. But with that being said, we're hopping on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, I kind of feel is a very important part of the game because it will make or break you. It definitely will. And it's definitely a crutch for time thing, which is inventory management. Making sure that you have enough sales, enough health, med kits. That's definitely some major in this game, because you can't overstack yourself. You can fill your book bag up and not be able to collect ammo while you have 0 ammo in a weapon. So you definitely want to make sure your inventory is correct, making sure that you're looting correctly, making sure that you're picking up book bags in the game. You guys didn't know, that's a little bonus tip right there. There are bags in the game, and I know some of you guys are probably thinking, Adrian, why would you tell us there's bags in the game? We already know there's bags in the game. I have bumped into people that didn't know there were bags in the game. So it's an overall learning experience here. I'm trying to teach you guys some extra stuff here too, man. Just sit back, I'm gonna learn you some stuff. Quote me on that. But that's definitely a big part of the game, making sure your inventory is completely stocked correctly. It also shows you when you open up your book bag, it shows you the amount of items that you have stacked and how you can stack them. So depending on your book bag size, you may be able to go from anywhere from like 3 med kits to 5 med kits, and everything else alters right along with it. You just gotta kind of pay attention to quality of the item, and that goes to tip number 4 right there. Actually making sure that you know the rarity of the stuff that you're picking up. There's 4 different types of rarities in the game. There's white, there's blue, purple, and gold. Gold items are the rarest items. Obviously you guys know, if you guys have played any type of grindy game in the past, like The Division, Borderlands, anything like that, gold is actually the highest tier here. So gold equipment, pretty much the gold gives you different abilities. So take the helmet for example. With a golden helmet, it allows you to recharge your ultimate ability quicker than what you normally would, which is some major to the gameplay. The ultimate ability is something that is a major key to gameplay. It can decide whether or not you'll win or lose, so you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to that. The chest piece, pretty much what it does is if you do an execution, which if you guys didn't know, you can do executions in this game. If you knock people down and you walk up on them and you press square on the PlayStation, pretty much you'll do a cool execution type animation. There's multiple different types of them. You guys can probably find them somewhere here on YouTube. Definitely check them out. But pretty much when you do those finishers, they'll give you your full shield back like nothing ever happened, like you were never in that gunfight, unless your health was actually hurt in that situation. You get your full armor back, which is something that is amazing, dude. That is major to the gameplay, especially if you actually taking time out to do executions, because I can never really find time to do executions without being killed by other people. And that puts us at tip number 5. If you guys don't have a mic, a headset, this is definitely something useful for you guys. Even for you guys that have headsets that don't generally like to talk, you can actually mark items on this game. And pretty much how you do that is on the PS4, it would be R1, on the Xbox One, it would be RB. When you do that, it places different markers at whatever you're pointing at. So it'll do an enemy, it'll show different gear items such as bags, weapons, unlooted areas, different stuff like that. So definitely pay attention and try and use that too. But even though I have a headset, I personally find it very useful. Rather than trying to call out coordinates to people, I can just mark it and it instantly shows them right there. I still give my gradual call out, but you have an actual indication of where I saw that person at. So it's nothing better than that. I would definitely recommend using that ping option. It's something major to the gameplay system, especially if you don't have a headset. You have to communicate as much as possible on this game. Teamwork makes dream work, guys. So that puts us at tip number 6. And tip number 6 is gold weapons. Alright, now with gold weapons, pretty much how you get them, you would get them out of drop randomly on the map. It's pretty much a supply drop that randomly comes down on the map. As of right now, it's 2 gold weapons you can actually get, which one is a sniper rifle and the other one is a shotgun. Now, neither one of them, when you get them out the crate, it doesn't give you ammo, but you automatically have the weapon that's, automatically have the ammo that's in that weapon. But after you run out of the ammo in that weapon, you can no longer find ammo for it. So once you run out of that ammo, you might as well drop your gold weapons. It's great for the rarity and the damage it puts out, but it adds balance to the game because you can't actually find any more ammo for it, which forces you to pretty much leave it where it is, and forcing you to find a completely different weapon in general. Alright, and we had a miscount, guys. Actually, we're on tip number 8 instead of tip number, we're going to tip number 8 instead of going to tip number 7. I had got it a little bit mixed up just then, but we are on tip number 8 now. So tip number 8 is make sure your legend complements your squad. So what I mean by that is make sure the legend that you're using is someone that can not only get the job done for yourself, but also make sure it can help the squad out and actually be beneficial to your playstyle too, because it really plays a big role in this game depending on what character you choose. It'll make how much damage you put out change. It'll also how much damage you intake change, and on top of that, it will affect your movement speed, dude. Your movement speed is something major in the game. I didn't really realize it until I started messing around with other characters. Maybe you guys would do so also, but I went from using Gibraltar to Bloodhound, and I was just like, dude, this is a completely different feel. It gives you a different feeling of the game. So if you guys currently don't like the pace that you're moving at, mess around with your character. Try changing up legends pretty much. If you change up your legends, you're bound to find somebody you like, because everybody operates differently. Everyone has different abilities that work well with and without your team, and trying to make sure that you actually, be able to implement that character, that legend. Sorry, I keep saying character, guys. It's legend. The legend that you use pretty much dictates how your team will play, dude. So if you have a Gibraltar and let's say, any one of the healers, I feel like you're in good strengths because you can make that happen, but depending on who's using the characters are the major part of it. So you and your buddies might want to switch around and mess around with different legends rather than just y'all using the same legends. And if it's not working out for you guys, definitely switch legends. Everybody has different roles that they like to run, and some people just have to use different legends to make their role work out for them, more or less, and be a team player. And that is something major in this game. If you're not a team player, your team's probably not gonna win a lot over here on Apex Legends. But let's jump into tip number 9. It actually goes to one of the abilities that you can pick up off the ground. Is the ultimate acceleration ability. Pretty much what it does is it gives you your ultimate 20% faster. Well, you gain 20% on your ultimate, and that is definitely something that is huge. But I know a lot of you guys probably know about it, but what I've come to learn is a lot of people don't know you actually have to pop it. It's a legitimate booster, so you actually have to use it rather than just having it in your inventory, because I thought it was just something that I had to keep in my inventory, but I didn't realize until I actually used it, that's when it gives you your 20%. And making sure that you facilitate that to the correct team member is something that is major, because everybody's special ability is something major or game changing, more or less. So you just have to find the person that needs it the most. Pretty much giving it to the person that needs it the most can definitely be something beneficial to y'all winning. So definitely mess around with that and share your loot, guys. Sharing loot is key to winning battle royales. If I don't have ammo, I expect you guys to be able to, hey, I might drop you 50 and the other person might drop you 50. That gives you 100 rounds. But you have to remember, guys, it's a battle royale, so using your team to the best of y'all abilities is the key to winning. And tip number 10, something major that I've learned. Well, it's weird I say learned, but I've been learning everybody's abilities. Learning everybody's abilities is also another major part of the game, because if you don't know others' abilities, you quite don't know what you're getting yourself to in gunfights. Even at certain points in my gameplay, you can tell, like, I don't know what's exactly going on because I didn't know what everyone's abilities were, but learning the abilities is key to adapting to this battle royale because it's played so much differently. Like, when I first started off playing, I was playing Apex as if it was COD or actually Titanfall, but it plays different because the abilities change the gameplay completely. Between the specials or even just your abilities you can use every 30 seconds, they're also major. Each character has major abilities, so you gotta make sure you know about the character that you're getting into a gunfight with and be able to play from the pros and cons of your own character, more or less. And now we are officially halfway through the video. We are 10 tips in, so let's go ahead and finish out these last 10 on a strong note. So jumping into tip number 11, no pun intended, because we are talking about the jump master here. Something that I've learned while playing with randoms, actually, which is something that is quite major, because I mean this could get you out of a lot of tricky situations, more or less. If you are a jump master, you can actually change who the jump master is prior to y'all hopping out of the plane. So pretty much what you would want to do is you click R3 and it would switch to jump master. And let's say your jump master is AFK and y'all getting ready to like get toward the end of the map, and you want to go ahead and jump and find yourself a landing spot already. Pretty much what you can do is do the same thing, but if you're not jump master, it will make you go ahead and jump solo. So if you click R3 and you're not the jump master, it'll make you jump by yourself without taking any teammates. And if you are a jump master and don't want to be the jump master and decide where you guys land at, you can click R3 and it'll switch over to another teammate. That was actually something I was happy to learn about, because initially when I first started playing, I didn't exactly know how to get out of the ship without the jump master. I was sitting there and I was just like, dude, how do I do this? And then I actually started reading the on-screen directions, and that is how we came up with tip number 11, actually. Now this next tip can go to any characters, but me specific, I find this tip very helpful for Gibraltar because he is a much slower character. When you guys are traveling down hills, definitely make sure you slide. Sliding is a very fast pace. It is something very fast paced to get you across the map. Like, it is literally no time, especially if you're going downhill. You actually pick up momentum going down hills on this game. So if you started sliding as you're going down the hill, your momentum will pick up and you'll go, dude. You'll get out of there relatively quick. And sliding also gets you out of tight gunfights, dude, because I know sometimes it's like I really can't get around the corner completely running, but if I slide, I know I'll make it. Making that slide, integrating that slide into your gameplay is major. Whether or not you realize it or not, it is definitely something major and can make sure you live a lot longer. And piggybacking off tip number 12 to tip number 13, as far as getting you guys across the map quicker, we also also have zip lines on the map. So there's random yellow lines across the map that you can walk up to and you can jump onto by pressing square, and it'll start zip lining you across the map instantly to wherever the end of the zip line is, more or less. But it's definitely a quick way to get across the map, because at first glance it seems like it's going to take a while to get across the map, but in all actuality you can really make it across this map in little to no time using what's already offered here, which is heels, which are good for sliding, and zip lines, which are good for just getting across to the next side of the map regardless. So putting them two things into your gameplay will definitely make your gameplay a lot faster than what you guys probably already moving. The game's hella fast paced naturally, just sprinting, but adding in zip lines and other stuff, different alternatives, makes the game a whole lot faster. And they also have zip lines that take you up into the air so you can dive to your next side of the map. So definitely be looking out for those. They're like little balloons that sit up in the air, and when you go all the way to the top, pretty much it launches you again like how it launches you out of the ship at the beginning of the game, but it doesn't take you quite as far, but it still takes you about as high as what it was if you were jumping out the ship, more or less. So using those three are key tips to getting across the map really quickly, but those are tips 12 and 13 right there. So tip number 14, you can actually revive your teammates in this game, and when I say revive them, I mean completely. Like, even if they're dead, you can go up to them and you can collect their ID card and take it over to a respawn beacon, and they'll be dropped back into the game. But they don't come back with weapons, but they come back with full health. But it's still definitely something great to have, especially in a game like this where if you're playing solo, you're kind of slimming your chances to win by a lot. So reviving your teammates is definitely something key. They give you about 70 to 80 seconds to actually grab their key ID, I guess that's what it is, and take it over there to the respawn beacon. Once you actually have it in your inventory, it no longer times you. Just make sure you get it to the respawn beacon and your teammate will be coming back shortly. Tip number 15, the number color makes a difference. And pretty much what I mean by that is anytime that you shoot someone on here, you see a number pop up. Whether or not it's white, blue, or purple, it depends on the rarity of their armor. So you will know by the color of the numbers whether or not you're actually hitting someone's armor or if you're hitting their legitimate health. If you're hitting their armor, like I said, it'll pop up white, blue, or purple. But when you're actually hitting their direct health, the numbers will actually pop up red. That's something I've learned. It took me a second to learn that. I was trying to understand like how you would honestly know if you were hitting people's armor, and that's how I figured out whether or not I was hitting someone's armor, by the color of the numbers that popped up after I killed them. The hit marker color doesn't change, but the actual physical damage number color changes, which is something that is major. And now we're into tip number 16. Ammo types appear on your screen, and what I mean by that is in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, it shows you how much ammo you have for that general weapon. It also shows a distinctive color. So let's say if it's orange, that would be light ammo, and if it was green, it would actually be heavy ammo. But you can figure that out without even opening up your inventory, just by looking at the color that's shown on the HUD display where your ammo counter is. Tip number 16, your ammo actually appears in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. For you guys that didn't know, that is something major, because I know that sometimes it's really hard to tell what ammo your weapon takes, but it actually tells you by color coding it in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And once you find that color code, you'll know the exact name of the ammo type. For example, with the light greenish type ammo, I know when I pick that up, that is actually heavy ammo. Or if it's an orange indicator at the bottom of my right hand corner of my screen, I know that that's light ammo. And that's just something really major, because I know at sometimes, like when I first started playing, I was just like, dude, I don't know what any of this ammo is. Like if it is not 7.62 or 5.56, I didn't quite know what it was. But it's definitely a learning curve. It's teaching you differently because it's giving you a color display more or less, so you know exactly what you're looking for. So if you need it, you just call out, hey, I need orange ammo or I need green ammo. It's still helpful either way. way, because I mean most people don't know the names of the ammo either, so if you just call it by color, it makes it a little bit easier rather than actually trying to call it out by its preferred name if you don't know it. Tip number 18, you can actually hold up on the D-pad to go through all your medical supplies, so you will be able to check out your shields and your actual med kits that you have in your inventory. You will be able to check everything that you have in your medical inventory just by holding up on the D-pad. Also, you can do the same thing with your grenades by holding right on the D-pad to cycle through and select different grenades that you've picked up. Those are major, guys, because I know I would sit there and I would just spam up, because I was thinking it was like PUBG where you could spam down and go through your medical, like all your medical supplies, but you can't actually do that on here. You actually have to open up the inventory like I was saying. So that's definitely a major key to success right there, dude. And now we're on tip number 19, which I just recently found out. Most weapons, well, not most, a decent amount of the weapons in the game actually go from full auto to single fire. If you tap left on the D-pad, you can switch from burst, single, and full auto with certain weapons that have it, obviously, which I really think is a great idea for having, you know, to handle different ranges, because burst rifles can't always handle a full range like a single shot weapon would. You can treat certain weapons like DMRs, or you can treat some weapons like full auto ARs. It's all depending on how you want to try and use them, and depending on what weapon it is, more or less. And we are officially at tip 20. The best loot places are actually marked on your map. Before you get ready to jump out, it actually appears on your HUD. If you pull up the map menu, it tells you the different areas that's going to have high graded loot, common loot, whoever it may be. And even at times when you're walking around the map, when you step into a new area, on the top left hand side of your screen, pretty much you will actually get a description of the place, well, a name for the place and a description of the loot for the place. So that is all 20 tips I have here to share today with you guys. Hopefully you guys found these tips helpful. If you guys did, definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.